This is practice test 2, question number 15. When we're dealing with probability, if we have an or question, such as number 14, what's the probability that the card you draw is a face card or a heart, we're going to be adding. In this problem, there's an overlap, so even though we're adding two probabilities, we need to subtract the overlap so that it doesn't get counted twice. If you want more information about this problem, that is on the previous video. This video, we're working on number 15. This is an and problem, or you might see the word both. If it's an and, a both, we multiply. So we're randomly assigned two teams in the dorm pool from this basketball tournament. This is obviously a year when we don't have a pandemic going on, and they're playing these games. So you are randomly assigned two teams, and we want the probability that both were from the Big 12. So we want the probability that the first is from the Big 12 and that the second is from the Big 12. Means we're multiplying. So how many teams are there in the Big 12? Well, there's 7 teams from the Big 12. So there's 7 out of a total of 64. Then we're going to multiply. Now we want the second one to also be from the Big 12. So I need the probability that a team is from the Big 12 given that the first one I got was already from the Big 12. So if we're assuming that the first one worked, then there are 6 Big 12 teams left out of 63 teams left. So 7 times 6, I'll write it over here, is 42. 64 times 63, it's a big number. So this is an exact answer. If I wanted to get an approximate answer, we're just barely over 1%. 0.0104. Now the second probability that we're looking for, we want the first from the Southeastern Conference, and then we want the second from the Big 10. So let's see, there are 5 from the Southeastern Conference out of 64 total. And we want the Big 10 so we've got 7 teams from the Big 10 Conference. Now I don't need to reduce that 7. Here there were 7 teams, but then the second one I had to make it a 6 because we'd used up one from that same conference. Here we're assuming that the first one was from this conference, so all 7 from the Big 10 are still left. However, since I did use one up, the total has dropped. So if I want a decimal approximation, this one's even smaller. Remember that first one, there was a 1 here. Now we only get a 1 there if we round this up. This one's smaller, which makes sense. I mean, this is 35 out of that same denominator.